Hello and welcome to the Women's Speed Chess Championship. I'm Woman Grandmaster Dina Belenkaya, and here today with me in the studio is Woman Grandmaster, Keti Tsatsalashvili. Hello, Keti.
Hello, Dina. Hello. I wish I'm a grandmaster, but no, I'm a woman grandmaster. But Dina, we have a grandmaster here playing in this match today, and I'm very excited about that. So today we will have a grandmaster from China, Yifan, playing against international master Gulnar Mammadova.
Wow, this is the matchup that many fans have been waiting for, because it's not just super strong players competing. It's the living legend, Grandmaster Yifan, and it's very rare opportunity to see her playing nowadays. So I am extremely excited about today. I guess so do you.
Yes. We all want to see her playing more chess, and here we have. Yeah.
So let us tell you about the format of this event. Even though you know it already, this is the last matchup of the quarterfinals, the matchup number 8, and the format will be, first of all, we'll be having 75 minutes of 5+1, then 45 minutes of 3+1, and finally for the dessert, or maybe not yet, 25 minutes of 1+1. I say not yet because the dessert could be the tie breaks. Keti, do you think there will be tie breaks here?
I'm ready if we have tie breaks, and also the most exciting part of this format is Armageddon as well. So ready. They can they can take us to the tie breaks as well. Let's speak a little bit about the prize fund.
So basically, it didn't change much since yesterday, but still, first prize is $20,000, and players are competing for it. Second one is 12, followed by $5,000. But okay, these prizes are super high. But what we know, players do not fight only for the prizes, but also for the dignity.
Mm-hmm.
And now let us remind ourselves what is the score sheet, who are the players, who are the names that already qualified. We know now for sure that Katerina Lagno, Nana Dzagnidzhe, Harika Dronavali, Anna Muzichuk, Bibisara Asobaeva, Lei Tingi, and Antoaneta Stefanova are already our semifinals, and the last name will be found out today.
Yeah, that's right. Let's also take a look at the previous results and once again check who won the match and what was the score between these two players. Not two players, these players.
14 players to be exact, because the last two we're going to find out today. So the biggest tension was between Alexandra Kostyniuk and Harika Dronavali, because Alexandra was leading the main part, and then it all decided on the tie breaks. Also, Irina Krush versus Nana Dzagnidzhe had a super tense match. Irina was an underdog, and she managed to make an amazing comeback. But some of the matches were also pretty quick to follow. And what are your stakes for today, Keti? Do you think Gulnar Mammadova will be suffering, or will she show some amazing fights?
That's a really good question. I was searching the games if they have played earlier or before, and I hadn't found any games between these two players, which actually makes sense because Yifan has been playing in elite chess already for years. Then she quit from chess. And meanwhile, Gulnar Mammadova was always there in professional chess and also in national team of Azerbaijan. But she was playing in different boards while Ho Yifan was playing on the first board. So for this reason, they have not played any games, at least according to my base. And speaking now of her, Gulnar Mammadova, she is a very sharp player, and I expect a really good fight here.
Absolutely, she's also very used one to the online playing. So let us see how it goes. But before, let us take a short break. And welcome back to the last match of the round of 16, Grandmaster Hu Yifan versus Women Grandmaster Gulnar Mammadova. I am Women Grandmaster Dina Belenkaya. Here with me is Women Grandmaster Keti Tsatsalashvili, and the games are about to start. We are having the first segment, which is the 75-minute segment of 5+1 Blitz games. We expect a huge fight, but also a big pleasure to see again Hu Yifan competing. Keti, we already spoke about the stakes. What are your predictions?
My predictions are that it's gonna be amazing match. I have no idea what will be the final result here. Anything can happen. This is online chess, the most fun kind of chess that we have, and here we see both players with glasses. They are ready for big fights. They are very focused. Here we have Ho Yifan. This is great pleasure to see her, as we have not seen her for a long period, as she decided to continue her studies at Oxford University, and later she decided to accept another challenge, and nowadays she's a professor at Shanghai University, and she has lots of students.
Indeed, and not only we are excited to see that, but also we have already started the games, And we do see right now the first game. We have international master Gulnar Mammadova with white pieces, starting with some kinds of a French defense. Also, King's Indian setup. How you find is with black pieces could also be looking like a Sicilian approach of this. Keti, uh, what color do you prefer in this position?
You know, Dina, it's so funny because white started to have some sort of King's Indian position, and black replied to have French defense. So we have like board is divided, and we have two openings on the board. I don't know. I really don't know. I think black here started to control the center much better, and for me personally, I like to control the center. That gives that gives more space for my pieces to be active. But on the other hand, here white has a very comfortable play, and it is quite easy. Next moves can be knight to 2, knight f1, h4. Bishop can develop on g5, and white is aiming king on g8.
That's true. That being said, white is going for the king. That should be the main plan, but sometimes also should take care of the center as well, since black will be trying to advance their pawns on the queen side. Um, Honestly, I do have some experience here. This is one of my favorite setups when playing Blitz because it is actually a kind of a system approach, which means that you can make several moves without spending much time, and it is pretty useful in Blitz when you can even gain some time. Since here we have 1 second increment, and here we go, Keti h4, the move that you said. Gulnar definitely has the same approach to this position as you do. Well, b5 followed, and what would be the pawn break in your opinion? b5, b4, c4, d4.
Mhm. Yeah, there are many ways, but I believe the b4 is most powerful here because the bishop from a6 also targeting d3 pawn. And also it's good to have open file for the rook. Then rook b8 might come to b3 and make some difficulties for white. And to me, it seems like if white has to play a 3 move and stop this pawn attack on the queen side, it means that black is the first who started the attack.
Yes, I do agree with that. And also a3 was pretty much forced because there was this a3 idea from black side. So yes, b4 I do agree. Bishop would the diagonal would be open. Okay, here we go. Knight h2, very nice. Aiming to g4, and then maybe even some sacrifices h2. On h6 or f6. Objectively speaking, white doesn't have any advantage here. But once again, when we're playing Blitz, it's more about the understanding of the position that you actually go for, being comfortable in it and knowing what to play. And I also think that Gulnar should be enjoying this as never before, because it is true, you said it yourself, the opportunity to face Hou Yifan is, especially nowadays, is very rare.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, indeed. Chess is pretty much a psychological game, and some players might be uncomfortable to face at this stage of the tournament the strongest participant of the tournament. But for Goldner, I think she likes challenges, and I also know in her style it's very interesting. She's a fighter, and what I've observed about her is that she allows you to get some advantage, and the moment you think that, oh wait, I have good position, I have winning position, then she finds the defense, and also not only defense, but she also attacks at the same time, and she's really tricky player, very 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 tricky player.
So she could be sometimes like a spider, sometimes like a chameleon, changing her attitudes, adapting to the position. This seems like a very very universal approach.
Yeah, this is sort of winning strategy, because at the moment you think that I got this position, then she starts with full energy, and she's very strong opponent, I think, for How You Fun. Although looking at the rating here, we see a huge rating difference on Chess.com. Seems like How You Fun is playing quite often online chess.
Yes, I actually think that the biggest argument for Gulnar here would be that she should be having more experience in playing online. I
Mhm.
actually looked at the How You Find profile. She didn't play since December, but okay, that doesn't mean much because we know that professional chess players do have their second, third, and fourth accounts to play. So to be not revealing your openings, your secrets. Well, nevertheless,
Yeah.
since she's not a full-time chess player nowadays, she should be having less experience in playing online.
Yes, but I'm sure that she enjoys this tournament as much as everyone. So for the moment, she has full control on B file, and she is trying to trade Rurik and the queen. And if she gets that, if she removes the heavy pieces on the board, then she will have clear advantage here because queen side is already open. There are several weaknesses here, and the only open file B5 is controlled by black.
So looks like you were right. Black did start their attack first. They are ahead of white in terms of who is faster to make their plan come true.
Yeah. And Dina, we have also predictions on our channel running, and I invite everyone to take a part in it. You can grab some channel points. That's cool, I think as well.
So what does the pool say?
Paul says there are some dramatic numbers: 201,000 versus 18,000.
Okay, so that is pretty. Yeah, that is pretty interesting. Do please participate in the predictions. Also, it would be interesting for us to know who are you actually counting on here.
Mhm.
So we
Yeah.
have this B file, which is pretty much under Black's control. We also see the evaluation bar here on our screens, and it
Mhm.
does say that White is not doing great. Well, terms of material wise, everything is equal, so should be not that decisive yet. This advantage. And we know that
Mm.
especially in Blitz, everything can happen. Also, Huifan is down on time. Well, she's not in that a big time trouble, but we shall see her more of her mouse skills
Mhm.
soon.
Yeah, that's right. She's losing more time than Gulnar does here because, of course, it's harder to find here a winning plan rather to defense. And so that's why Hoyufan is spending more time here. And on the other hand, there's only 1 second increment, so it's a moment she has to start to play faster.
For some players, it is a lot, it is enough to gain even some time, but for others, we have seen so many flags, so many flagging, even in this round of 16 Women's Speed Chess Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have seen also some unfortunate blunders and mouse slips too. Anything can happen. Let's see. I know it's hard for the chess players, but it's fun for the viewers and for us as well. So
Especially for
let's
us,
see.
this is what we are here for, to see some action and to see some show.
Yeah, I felt a bit like bad person saying that because it feels so bad for chess player's perspective when you have terrible blunder, but we like dramas, everybody likes dramas, and there is no secret about that. Oh wait, the rook is hanging.
Speaking of dramas, Queen A4, and now we see that White has just lost his E5 pawn. This is a central pawn, but the most important, there is a piece here. Oh no, oh no. Looks like totally lost for white with a piece down. I
Mhm.
guess nothing can help here, white.
Yeah. Um, when we have strongest players, strongest chess players, I myself have sometimes the feeling like, oh wait, they made this move. Why they played this? For example, in this case, why she played d4 move? And right now, I understood she played d4 to open up the light square bishop, and then next move we had bishop b7, and there was a whole idea. So amazing game, very nice. Technique from Yifan.
Absolutely, yes. She did play according to the plans, and she did show that this system is not giving anything for white. Okay, shall we repeat this system again? We're about to have the next game. It should start in some seconds,
Mhm.
but it doesn't start yet. So, Keti, do we? Yes, we do have it. Okay, finally.
Mhm.
Normally, players are supposed to be to send in the rematch immediately. They do not have any time to recover. This also
Mhm.
makes it more difficult for them. And well, this is the
True.
format. It is like this. They know it. They know they can the
Mhm.
conditions, so they are ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the format what we have here, and players are fully aware of that. And I'm sure they are fully focused. However, I agree with that. That sometimes when you have some lose, some blunder, you need some time to breathe and forget and get ready for the next game.
Absolutely. Also, sometimes when you're leading and you know that the segment will finish in some time, and you can see the time, you can actually calculate how many games are possible, and
Mhm.
just drink some water, do some like
Mhm.
scratch your nose, and wait until yeah, wait some more time. But okay, these are techniques. We shall speak more of them later. It's more about ethical part of it. But here we go. We do have the game number two, and not only it is the game number two, but also it's the second French defense, which didn't continue as the first game. We have d4 move number two, and in the previous game, Gulnar playing white played queen e2. So now, how you find? I would say she actually says, "Okay, you go for some sidelines. I go
Mhm.
with the main approach."
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sure Gulnar is quite comfortable to go to the mainlands because, as we know, she's a member of the national team for years. And usually, when you're in the national team, you have several coaches working with you, and your opening repertoire is pretty much stable. So, no, um, you can trust that. You can trust your preparation. On the other hand, some players also have their Blitz repertoire. And they are playing the positions which might not be huge advantage for them, but they feel very comfortable to play.
Yes, indeed, and they do have a big experience here. But the interesting part about having your repertoire for Blitz is because all
Hmm.
these games go to the database, and then when you have some
Hmm.
important over the board events, you sometimes do not want to reveal your secrets.
Yes.
Plus, sometimes it is just pointless to go for the main lines because you need to remember like I don't know 2025
Hmm.
first mainline moves, and you usually do not repass all that before Blitz
Hmm.
games because you actually need to save some energy. What would be the right preparation for such matches, by the way, Katy, in your opinion?
I believe that all these players who got in the top 16, and they are preparing against their opponents with the help of the coach as well. And I believe that it's not only one day preparation. They put a hard work in here. That is what happens usually, and I would not be surprised if these two players are also well prepared.
Yes, absolutely. It is also about how do you repass your repertoire. But okay, let us concentrate on the game. It has we have already seen we have already 15 move number 15 on the board
Mhm.
right now. White gives the opportunity for black to trade queens. Who should be better here in the endgame?
I believe Fight is comfortable to have endgame here because black has hanging pawns. I know c3 pawn is not the best looking pawn over here, but somehow it will not be, it's not be attacked yet, and it's hard to attack as well. And meanwhile, all white pieces are well developed, ready to access at any squares they would like. They are more active, there's more space for white, and I believe that white has a slightly advantage here, and it's also very comfortable to play Blitz in these positions where there is no complication. Your opponent cannot really complicate anything, and it's up to you. It's up to your technique, and also it's easy to play when you have this kind of advantage. You can make some king moves. You can do some maneuvering, not losing time, and while keeping the advantage still on the board.
Yes, also right now we witness the rook on b7, which is the exact place for the rook. It is the best, the dream place for the rook. One
Mhm.
more detail, correct me if I'm wrong, we also have this bishop on e3, which is, well, which is a bishop, and black doesn't have one, and the position is open, so this could also give some kind of advantage for white.
Yeah. End game, I believe that it's quite good for white. And now these pawns are blocked, and we know that if hanging pawns are blocked, they can be a target. So for the moment, they are not moving forward, but black is finding some counterplays for the moment. Pawn is hanging. Um, ah,
Perhaps the question is either bishop d4 or bishop f4, but both are bad because knight would take. But this is a
mhm.
pawn, and you do need to defend it.
Yeah, I was thinking about if how Yifan is considering here to play e6 move, to sacrifice a pawn, then a rook c7 attack the knight, and then bishop d4 to attack g7 pawn. Maybe she's considering this move rather than to play some moves to defense. Oh, she goes immediately.
Yeah, she goes immediately rook c7. Now we shall see something like knight e5, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, and then probably bishop a7 with the
Mhm.
idea of treating these two pawns. But white would have this a3, which would be a passed pawn. Pretty much good thing for your endgame.
Yeah, absolutely. Rook and bishop and the pass pawn. It's very good combo in the end game.
Now, now that I look at it, black would have a knight c6 back, attacking the
Hmm.
bishop.
Hmm.
No, it's not dangerous because bishop would just go out. So yeah,
Hmm.
bishop would just go out. Yeah.
On c5, yeah.
Yeah, on c5 for instance. So yeah, okay. Because why do we precise that? If by any chance bishop and knight disappear from the board, black would have more chances to make a draw here because we know that rook end games
Hmm.
are always drawish.
Hmm. Yeah. And here she captures with a bishop, and our first reaction might be here to capture with the rook. But if you have an opportunity to keep the rooks on the board and to have rook and the bishop and the pass pawn, this is stronger than just to have bishop and pass pawn.
Also, I guess she just told herself that the rook on c7 is 10 times stronger than the rook
Hmm.
on a8, and that's why she doesn't
Hmm.
want to trade them. They're not equal. They don't have the same value.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, we're gonna say
a4.
now this pawn going forward.
Yes, in fact, this is
A5
the
is next move, pretty much pre-move, I guess. And white can also attack the d5 pawn.
yes. That doesn't seem to be easy to stop. Rook c5, knight b3. Well, could be knight b3. Yes, so it doesn't work.
Hmm.
Okay, so for now the knight is blocking, but once again the position is open. It is an endgame, and white has a bishop. So
Maybe even here rook a7 makes some practical chances for whites to win easy. Rook a7, trade the rooks, and then bishop b6 back. which will support the pawn up to a7. And that's it. That's what you want, to have this pawn up to a7. Then knight cannot really stop this pawn.
And here we go. She heard you. She made it. And now, yes, the knight will try to block the pawn on the white square if he can. But it will be super passive, and then the king would just come and take over the whole board. Technically wise, position is winning for How You Find. The question is, will she be able to convert it?
Yeah, now it's time for the king to decome on d4, most probably, or king can also remain on the king side. King g4, h4, h5.
Yes, followed by g6, and then some kind of a pawn break with h5, trying to create more weaknesses and pass there. Eventually, h5, blocking the idea of king g4, h4. Okay, it is also well known in the endgames that you can just push the h pawn or a pawn to grab some space. Whatever you want to push your side pawns, you usually do it with the most the forest.
Yeah, because they're closer to the final square, final destination to be queen, and that makes easier for king to access also the pawns.
Right. So now black does have to stop this a pawn, which will force him to lose both d5 and c4, which would make white being already pawn up. Okay, looks totally winning. For now on, these two games, I do not see a big resistance from Gulnar's side, but she does need to eventually to strike, and we shall be seeing more tension coming soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's calling on the final parts of this format, maybe Blitz 3+1 or even Bullet.
Bullet,
She might
yes.
count on that.
Absolutely, she should have more experience in bullet. That is, there are no doubts. She even the qualifications, women's speed chess championship have been so good for even for training purposes. So she played all of them and until she qualified. So
yeah, absolutely. And I have seen all these games and these tournaments, and it's not easy to get in the final. So Gulnar managed that. She won. She won twice in one tournament, and she's here. So that's for a reason, right?
yes, absolutely. This endgame is totally lost now. White will just push this pawn, and black doesn't have any contemplate. Very nicely played bishop b2, stopping any potential pawn break here. I guess Gulnar needs to resign soon. Well, could that be that the I'm trying to okay, this is super subjective. Could that be that also the fact that you're actually facing how you find itself affects your game?
Yeah, of course she might feel this stress to play the strongest opponent you could have in this tournament.
Also one
uh
of the strongest opponents of all time.
yeah, yeah, but this is just a game, and I believe that Gulnar at this stage of her career, she is fully focused on chess only, and she has this approach that I'm playing it versus pieces, my pieces against her pieces. And actually online chess helps with that a lot, because you don't see your opponent like over the board, and when you play over the board against super strong opponents, you always have this kind of, feeling that you're excited, you're scared, you're happy. There are too many emotions. But for the moment, she's playing online. She has a computer in front of her and pieces. So I think it's just very hard to play against How You Fan. She's extremely strong.
Yes, that is true. And here we go. Yet another French defense. This time, line option number three. Let's
Mhm,
call it like this. The exchanged variation. Move number three, e takes d5, e takes d5 happened on the board. The position is symmetrical, which could be yeah, this could actually be drawish, so to be, but one should not underestimate
mhm.
the changes that will happen here eventually once all the pieces are developed.
Mhm. True. Here, Gulnar chose this structure to be very, very pretty much equal, and also it makes some sense. At some point, you just you just need to score. One, I don't know, half point. Then another draw will bring 1 point totally. So she is, I think, collecting some half points at this format, 5+1. And then I believe that she will start to use all her forces in the bullet part of the match.
That actually sounds like a very wise strategy, you say, just to make sure that you just pass this segment
Mhm,
number one with the very few losses. Yeah, just to diminish the number of the losses you can have here, and then just to go with a shorter time control when where the
mhm.
chances of gambling also rise. And yeah, this could be definitely in Gulnar's favor.
Yeah, yeah. If I were her, I would choose this approach. I think it's pretty much practical, and there's nothing wrong with just admit that your opponent is stronger than you are.
Yes, that's true. Well, there is stronger, and there is being in a good shape, in a good
Mhm,
form. You are like everyone is a human, and sometimes your head functions better, sometimes worse. We both know that we have been competing for ages, and yeah, this is also a normal thing. So even if Hou Yifan is definitely stronger, she could be this or that day not in her best state, so this would
yeah.
also increase the chances of anyone who's facing her. So one should never be one should never fear of
Mhm.
this big name.
Oh, Dina, Gulnar is 1 year older than me, and Hoyufan is 1 year younger than me. So, or 2 years younger than me. And I have seen both of them at youth championships. Sometimes playing in the same category as I did, sometimes in the different categories. But we have played into the at the same tournament at the same place, and it is quite awesome to see them now at this place. It makes me feel really good.
Yes, absolutely. And well, the world of chess is pretty small. I guess like in any sport, any short discipline. So well, yeah, it always pleasure. Sometimes you take the part of the side of the player. Sometimes you take the side of a commentator. I also competed in the qualifications, for instance, and I know what it is when you play with under this pressure.
Mhm.
And also the knockout events are super stressful, and this is one of them. So you like, even if you face the best, there in the end of the day there is only one place that counts. And yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Speaking about the position here, still nothing changed. Actually, I was worried that we have been trash talking, so to be, for some time, but here we go. Nothing actually changed because the position is still symmetrical. There has been no pawn break, and pieces are trading slowly. The evaluation is still equal. What can we say
Mhm.
about it?
I believe it's equal position. However, I would personally choose black pieces. It looks to me more active because when I see these knights on d2 f3 or d7 f6. They are fighting for the same squares usually, and at this position they are not strong knights, they are just knights, and the bishop from f4 is pretty much controlling many squares, and here to play with black is very easy. Also to go to the end game, it can be quite easier to play because you have bishop can access to any square much more easily, and at some point you can even start to push a little bit here on the king side with g5, and white is actually stopping that with g3 here. So black can make a decision to have the bishop or just to trade, and she traded the bishop for the knight, and then there are gonna be fights for e5 and e4 squares for the knights. The one who gets this square will have better position.
It is true, and I just witnessed that actually Gulnar offered a draw
Mm.
when playing g3. That is interesting. Being white, she basically said the same thing that you and me we said to each other. You just need to pass this part
Mhm.
to keep it with the as it is, trying to avoid losing. But okay, Hu Yifan refused, and then she
Mhm.
took on d2. I
Mhm.
just wanted to say that the fact that you said two knights protecting each other, this is basically known to be bad because yes, knights shouldn't be fighting for the same square. When one knight protects each other, they usually weaker or more passive. But okay, the position has changed. We already see there's no symmetrical structure anymore.
Mhm.
The f7 and g6 pawns versus g4 and h3. Also, the this h5 move, as you said, trying to get some space and to open the position. Wow, rook e8. That is interesting. Black rook doesn't want to attack the h3 pawn anymore, even though that was a how we call it back. No, how do we call this pawn?
It was a weakness here. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
weakness.
weakness
Yeah.
on h7. I would try to find some knight maneuvering to attack that pawn. But what Hoyufan is doing, she wants to have full control on e file. And as white can't really set up any fire on the board, she has time to come on e8, come on h8 any moment she feels that. Like white cannot really go against it. White cannot change the character of the position for the moment.
Yes, it is true. So she is actually maneuvering. That is how we could
Mhm.
call her play here.
Yeah, now she
And
got this knight on g5. She knows that h3 pawn is a weakness. She is keeping the eye on it, but she's doing it just a bit slow. Then you know.
which is also wise because sometimes you just want to to confuse your opponent. You want
Mhm.
to play here and there, attack this that, and then you see he will eventually collapse because it is usually way harder to defend than to attack.
Mm-hmm. And now she's offering the queen trade. Even we know that when the king is weak, and now g2 king is a weak, it's better to keep the queens on the board. But this is really practical decision. If white trades the queens, then she should be ready to give up h3 pawn or allow black pieces to get inside of white's position, like it's just happened right now.
Definitely. Now we see actually already advantage for black. Already pawn up. She did manage to overplay. Hu Yifan did manage to overplay from a completely symmetrical and equal position. That is impressive.
Yeah, yeah, we're learning a lot.
This is true. We are actually learning. Also, this is something I wanted to add. Is it like a thematical thematical match for the French defense lovers? If you want to study French defense, just join our commentary.
Yeah, girls like to play French defense. I have seen other commentaries too, and what I heard is French defense in most of the positions.
Yes, that is interesting. Well, it is simply a very solid opening, and maybe it's not just about girls or boys or any gender. It's more about that it is a good opening for black. So whoever plays it should be having decent positions.
Mhm. And here we have knight endgame with extra 3 pawns, and this is more than enough to win the game. And with this a6 move, Ho Yifan is completely stopping any counterplay that black white might look for.
Definitely. Okay, here we go. One more totally winning position for Ho Yifan. I am starting to be little worried for Gulnar. We do want her to fight. It is not so easy, but she's there. She has qualified. You know, the chances, by the way, of qualifying from the qualifiers, well, what are they? Every Swiss tournament there have been around 100 players, and only one place given to them. Boy, that was super hard, and she did manage it. So she has something. She has
Mhm.
something. She just needs to show it to us today because this is the right moment.
Indeed, and she has some time now. We're going to take a short break, so the players, and we'll come back shortly.
and welcome back to the Women's Speed Chess Championship. We have the last match of the round of 16, the match that many have been perhaps waiting for the most, because we have the one and only, the legendary Grandmaster Yifan competing against international master Gulnar Mammadova. And so far, we already have this score, which is 3-0. Are we having an adoption match here?
That's a good question, but to be fair, it feels so bad when you play online chess. So many eyes are on you and you are not scoring anything. So let's everybody root together now, Gulnar Mammadova, to score some points. That's gonna boost her confidence as well, and I'm sure that she is going to show us her best, and she can do it for sure.
Definitely. And one more question I wanted to ask, and I didn't manage to because the games have already started. My question was, were we expecting the French defense once again? And here we go, French defense.
Yes, an answer came here. We have the same position. Seems like they it's the main line for them. And speaking of the top players, usually they play many lines. They play e4 first move, they play d4, and with the black also they can play many openings. That is really cool thing. You can choose from your variation, whatever it feels right for you. And also when you start to play some opening, you have a feeling that, okay, I can improve here because I remember this line now. And also they had some time to look to the variations. I'm sure they both started to check the lines. What do you think? They check the lines, or they just relaxed a bit before
That
the
is
next stage?
That is indeed a very good question you're asking, and I had the exact same question to you, actually.
Oh.
Last time I covered the Women's Speed Championship, it was with Grandmaster Alexandra Kostyuk, and I was desperately trying to get her to tell me should one actually be checking the openings well, the breaks or not. And the answer is not evident. The answer is not evident because simply it could be also important to save some energy. So it is very especially depends for everyone. It's very subjective. Yeah, it's like everyone makes as it works for him or for them better, but it is true, you can check some lines, you can gain some information from it, you can even improve, but you also need to keep the energy, you also need to relax, because this this format is super exhausting. And well, let us see if we have a chance to ask these players about it after the match, if they do that, if they actually use their time to check and improve their opening lines.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Gulnar did, because she might have some issues in the opening. So she, in my opinion, checked the lines. And meanwhile, Yifan is having 3 points advantage for the moment, and probably she just used this time to relax a bit. I'm checking the time right now, and it seems like 8 p.m. in China, in Shanghai. That's probably where she lives. And it is for me, it is quite late to play chess at this time, because I'm a morning person. How about you, Dina?
Oh, now you're exposing me. I actually am not a morning person at all. But speaking of, when you have this type of competition, you adapt. You don't have much choice. If you know that your games are about to start super early and you're a how they call it, definitely when you a late owl, midnight owl.
Mhm.
Is that the thing? So anyway, when you have a match in the early morning, that is not your perfect timing. You just need to make your routine so that you come prepared and you come ready.
Mhm.
And 8 p.m. is also more or less not that late comparing to what it can be, because imagine here we have matchups from players among all the world, and we can have Americans facing Chinese, and this is tough, and they have the completely different time zones. Well, we also know that Magnus Carlsen himself is not a morning person, and he actually scores less when he has to play in the mornings. That is an interesting thing. We shall also we shall yeah we perhaps we can save this one as a question to how you find
Yeah.
if we manage to interview her later.
Yeah, I
Well,
also know in many chess players, they are not morning person. People like they like to have sleep in the morning to get some energy, and then wake up right some hours before the game just to have some quick lunch, some preparation, and then go to the chess game with a fresh brain. And it actually makes sense because myself being a morning person, wake up at early morning, then by the time of the game I'm exhausted already. Without a nap I cannot play. So yeah, that makes sense why chess players are not morning people.
yeah, that is true. Also, but Finning himself said that you actually, like, whether you wake up early or not, you do need to have a short nap before you before the game, after the lunch. But
Mhm.
okay, this is more about Blitz, and let us see how it goes. We actually have this same type of position we had already. Correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it in the game number two, this kind of variation of the French defense with yeah, the main line?
Mhm.
Well, it was the previous game that Ho Yifan played White herself.
Mhm. Yeah, it was in the second round. And what do we have over here? Really like the knight on f6. Oh no, no, don't give that knight. I like that.
Oh wait, the moment you
But
said it,
why
knight
she
takes e8.
but why she took that? That's so strange for me. She took the bishop, right? So she okay, maybe she was afraid that that bishop might come on h5 at some point.
Bishop, yeah, or maybe h5, the pawn push that she give black,
H5,
and then
h4, and
g4.
bishop h. Yeah.
And she found a way how to block it. This is very nice. Now her bishops, even if the position looks closed, the
Hmm.
bishops are looking better than these knights, I have to admit. Once again, we have this Keti, one knight defending another. It is passive. It is bad for them. This is not the way how you should take care of your knights.
Yeah, yeah. They one is active, one is passive. Um, let's see what White is doing. White is opening the H file for the rook. Maybe she wants to play rook H1 at some point to control H file. After Queen E8, now Bishop G4 makes sense for me to have Bishop on H5 now. If she loses the control over h5 square, then Black will start to push h5 by herself. Uh, oh, why
Yes,
she?
now
What?
we do have a queen trade. The position changed. There is no
Mm-hmm.
attack anymore for black. White's plan could be also one day to remember that there is a rook out there stuck on a2 with a
Mm-hmm.
push of a pawn, preparing, making some weakness for black.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Rook
that I like that very
h1.
much. To push a4, to weaken the b6 square. That's what Black has to do to stop this a pawn. And then Bishop c1, Bishop a3 comes to open diagonal. I like that idea a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Activating your two worst worst pieces here. The
Mm-hmm.
rook on a2 was really bad, and the bishop on d2. So now we have already a good rook attacking the weakness on b6.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, now the question is when will the bishop be activated? I guess it's just a question of time.
Yeah,
Here we go.
exactly. There we go. It's easier to play here with white because the position is
it's not that close. This bishop still has some activity. Another bishop can also come from h5 to create some threats on from f7 to e6. So they are strong. They are strong. There can be some ideas as well, when the king side is blocked, to play rook b2 back, rook b1, target b6, and to look for some sacrifices there on this file.
Yes, in fact, here white has an option. There are two weaknesses, h6 and b6, and you only need to choose which one to go for. Or maybe, as we've seen that in the previous game, just to wait, maneuver here and there, and the opponent will just collapse himself.
Yeah, you know what she's doing right now? She's attacking h2, h6 pawn, because in that case, king is too far to defend this pawn. b6, in that sense, is protected by the king as well. So yeah, exactly, you did everything here.
Yes.
So her idea is to target h6 pawn and then start to capture the knights. So these knights are defending each other, defending the weaknesses, but you can capture them very easily.
Yes, but although now she put the rook away. Okay, again, waiting move? Maybe. Yeah, so the thing is that she will just take one or other knight sooner or later, and then there will be so many things to defend. Black will not just be able to defend all of them, even though he tries.
Yeah.
And look at the evaluation bar. It is giving some advantage to white, but not such a decisive one. We have the knights here, and well, to our look here, it is protected. Everything is protected, but how you find with 20 seconds on her clock, where and how will she break through?
Now she's regrouping her pieces. She lose h file. Not lose, she left h file with both rooks, and now she's coming back as well. That's easier play for her. But she has less than 10 seconds on the clock, and she is trying to find the right moments to trade the knights.
So we actually entering the most exciting part of the show for both of us, finally seeing how Yifan being low on time with some seconds on the clock and not yet having won her game, which forces her to show her skills in playing online Blitz.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we have the first draw, first half point for Gulnar Mammadova. That's what she needed. That's what she needed. She needs to make several draws if she cannot win the game, to get the match into the less time control when anything can happen. And also it is extremely important for the chess players to score some points when they know that these games are watched by many people right now. So I don't know, it bothers me pretty much, although I have never played so strong online events. How do you feel, Dina, when you play online? Is it some sort of pressure on you?
Well, there is one thing which you already mentioned, which really fascinates me about online, is that you do not see your opponent, and you do not get affected by this psychology, especially when facing those so to be psychologically difficult opponents of yours. For example, some of the players are really well known to be staring at their victims, so to be. So when you're facing someone who is staring at you whenever you're trying to think, it is intimidating, and all these tricks, so to be, are not the case in online. So for people, I guess, for people who can focus on the game only, who as you said, play the pieces, the position, the factors are different. They do not see this change, but for those who are affected by this side things, playing online is definitely a new thing, which is also a nice thing. Yes.
Mhm.
um if yeah, your question was addressed to me as a
Mhm.
player. I don't have the answer yet. I think I didn't compete much that much online yet, even though I have been competing for more than a year, like since the
Mhm.
pandemic um started.
Started, yeah.
Yeah, I actually started playing as much online as I haven't never been doing before, and I do enjoy that. And yes, this is also, some people say this is also a new generation, this is also a new the future of chess being online, because this could also put us closer to the esports, which could create an amazing opportunities. I just I couldn't finish that word because I saw the queen was hanging, but now everything is fine. Both that, yeah, the knight cannot take because the bishop is there. What about you, Keti? What is your experience, and how do you feel when playing online?
Playing online is fun, even though I'm not the best online player. But I believe that if you train, if you put some time in it, you can be one. Because there are some techniques that it's possible to achieve after sort of trainings, and be resistant to do it. But it is annoying for me to know that I'm not scoring a point, and I know that many people, many supporters are following, and they are getting really sad with my point. And I don't know why I'm thinking about that, but you are thinking about these topics well. Maybe not exactly during the game because you have so many tasks to solve, but before the game, after the game, if you lose, like, oh no. Because for me, it's very important. And I know that my family usually watch my games and they are very stressed if I lose. And yeah, luckily, I'm not playing that much. So they are not. They are not very stressed.
I guess it's the question of how you look at it, from what side. Because imagine it is also just the opportunity to be facing how you find. That's
Mm,
not everyone has this chance. And if we put ourselves on the Gulnar place,
mhm,
she must be enjoying it, even if she's down some points, even though she's the underdog, she must be enjoying this opportunity, especially nowadays. Once again, we already mentioned it, how Yifan is not competing much anymore.
mhm.
Keti, do you actually think she would come back eventually to the professional to the
Mhm.
professional chess?
That's a really really good question, and I don't know actually if that's her who should know. Maybe she's not considering yet to come back. But stress is something that once you got poison, you cannot get rid of it. And once in a while, you'll play some tournaments. But also, being a chess player, you're gaining so much skills, and uh, you are curious of many things in your life, and all these skills that you're getting from chess you can use to the other profession. And it just depends what is her what's her dreams, what she wants to do.
What are her
uh
goals? Yeah.
yeah, like what she really enjoys to do. It's her who should make any decision. Of course we want to see her playing chess, because she was competing very very strong opponents, and she was really strong. Her peak rating was 2658. There was
She was in the top 100 world's
yeah.
players of yeah, at her peak rating. Maybe if we're lucky, we could ask her this one as well when we get her for the
Yeah.
interview. And getting back to chess, did you notice how she abandoned that a7 pawn, which is is a backwards pawn. This is the word
Mhm.
that I have been looking for so
Backward.
long.
Yes.
Backward pawn. This is
For
the backward
H3,
pawn.
right?
She abandoned it, and white didn't take it. There was this rook ac8 move, very nice. And in the case of rook takes a7, what would happen then? We could have c2, a super strong future queen. Perhaps this
Mm-hmm.
was the reason why didn't accept that pawn sacrifice. And now we have the position after trade of these pawns. Okay, no more danger for white, but white is super passive. White is super passive. Look at the rooks, look at the queen compared to this amazing knight on d5,
Yes.
h6.
And also 2 pawns are missing for white. And if you get 1 pawn back, you will be still missing another pawn. And how you find, even though she has pretty active pieces right now, she can easily trade some pieces and get to the end game and just to demonstrate her skills in the end game once again.
In fact, she's simply 2 pawns up if we count the material,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Exactly.
explains everything. Now there's a threat though. Bishop takes b4 cannot be followed by knight takes b4 because there would be rook takes queen. And she's right, she's getting out of this x-ray, queen c5.
Yeah.
Well, 2 pawns up for one of the best female chess players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like an easy game once again. Gulnar, we are rooting for you. We do not hide that. We want some fight here.
Yeah, we're not hiding that for sure. But what we have, I read earlier the chat, and there was like there is master classes from how you find it's actually true. We're seeing high quality chess over here.
By the look of this match, do you think Yifan could be actually winning the whole Women's Speed Chess Championship?
Seeing the other matches were very very close, and to be honest, I could not predict any match, any result in that match. uh and seeing her in best shape here, I think she's the one who we should consider as a favorite of the tournament.
Yeah, speaking of favorites, there are many big names here in the quarterfinals already, and we have one of them who is Katerina, better to say Lagno,
Mm-hmm.
world's Blitz champion. That could be a very big conqueror to how you find. But okay, it's too early to say that. First things first. Okay, let us see if how you find manages to finish this match in her favor, even though she's leading. But once again, we all expect the bullet part of it.
Exactly. 16 minutes more to go in this time format, 5+1. Next gonna be 3+1, and then final part. I'm sure we're gonna see lots of fires in that part, 1+1, and Gunnar will show her best in that format.
A5 followed. This is a very favorite part, or very favorite move for our viewers. I have no doubt the en passant move. Not many are familiar with this one. When the pawn crosses this square, jumps, it can be actually taken. It was not accepted. There was no interest because the knight was hanging, but would be a beautiful thing for some of you who are watching us.
Yeah, that's always a question, like, well, what just happened? What's in passant, and so on. There are many questions about it. Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful possibility of the chess.
And
Oh.
Gulnar resigned. The score is 4.5 to half a point. Speaking of questions, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to address them to us. We're doing our best to take care of the chat as well, and that would be a pleasure.
Indeed, and another French defense here we have Let's see if they're gonna change something. For the previous time, it went well for How You Fun. However, the game was ended in a draw because Gulnar Mammadova showed really good skills of defense. Let's see here. White is thinking how to continue, but she still goes with Queen G4, targeting G7 pawn, and here we have King F8 defending G7 pawn. That could be really strange moves, right? Now White comes back on D1. Queen made this maneuvering just because to get this castle in right from Black, right? Black cannot really castle here anymore.
True. And you know, it reminds me of something very familiar. MVL versus Yanni Pomnishi. Wasn't that their type of position? It was a very decisive game. Oh, where was it? It was just before the pandemic. Yeah,
Oh,
with
it's
this
a
Queen
candidates
G4
tournament, probably.
candidates. Yes, that is it. It was the last round of the candidates just before it was postponed. And we did have the same idea with Queen G4 forcing Black King to ruin his chances for castling, and then using this opportunity. But the biggest advantage of it for White is that Black's rook here on h1 is totally dead for now. Really needs some ambulance help.
That's true. Well, there is some chances to artificial castle here. That can be King G8, King H7, or G6, King G7. That is the chance to get this rook out of the game, but however, I feel that that's gonna bring some weaknesses in Black's position, and Black really feels to keep this rook on H8 just in case of defense, in case if White starts to attack with G4, G5. For the moment, that's okay. But if there are some queen trade or rook trade, then king might be even closer to the center. That's why she's not really worried about the king being on f8.
And what an amazing maneuver here with the rook, bringing it via h4 to f4, now attacking. White doesn't need any castling here anymore, but compared to Black King, it is totally safe. With the knight on h4 here, aiming to sacrifice one day, knight g6. Is that the idea?
It can be idea of king s on f file. Actually, it was the main idea here for White to put up some pressure on on f and g pawns. And at some point, yeah, we might see some sacrifices here. Right now, she wants to capture the pawn on h6 because there is a pin on the rook. And the question is how Black is going to defend this pawn, because rook cannot really move. G7 pawn will be hanging. And once again, Kim comes to rescue the pawn. That is what's happening here. So for the moment, we don't have bishop h6 sacrifice.
We do not have bishop h6, but what do we have? Rook g7, followed by rook takes g7 and bishop h6. Holy fine, took some time, but it looks like totally winning to me. What did she think of? Didn't she see that immediately?
I believe that Gulnar just blundered that move, because she was looking for defense for h6 pawn. She overlooked that, and also for Yifan, it's it takes some time to spot that sacrifice.
Yes, absolutely. But this is a very typical sacrifice. Reminds me of Puzzle Rush. You have this. You need to make as many as you can in the limited time control. Also, very good tool for practicing your calculation skills. Highly recommended to everyone.
Yeah, we might see this game in the puzzles that we're solving, I think, every day. I'm trying to solve that every day. It's a really good tool to see some typical ideas and also to train.
Yes, absolutely. Any player who wants to progress does need to solve puzzles daily. It is urgent. It's like a weightlifter making
Mhm.
their daily exercises super important. One cannot improve without those. Rook h8 followed here. Obviously, there was no interest in capturing that rook because it would be followed by checkmate. Even well, not immediately, but later on. The position is lost. How many times did I say that? I start feeling
Mhm.
some pain here for Gulnar, but okay, no pain. It's not about pain. It is about opportunity. You're facing how you find. You're the one to face her. She might actually who knows? Will she compete? When will she compete next time? Well, we know when actually she will be
Mhm.
competing this summer with some of the best grandmasters of the world. But okay, still.
Yeah, what do you think here? Is it? Oh, she already played. I just wanted to suggest bishop c1, bishop a3 idea to target the knight, pin the knight, and then there might be some sort of sacrifices with knight g6 coming next, or even just get rid of that knight and then sacrifice on f7. This position is full of tactical motives. And of course, it is quite hard here to defend all the weaknesses and all the threats for black.
Absolutely. And also this maneuver activating the French bishop from d2 to a3 is already familiar to us. There is a pleasure seeing Yifan showing us how to play French defense. I actually start to think that by the end of this commentary, I will try French myself.
That's a good idea. I cannot try that because I don't play with either colors. Like I'm not even close to play the French defense. Uh, but I really like this structure. They are very sharp. It's not that equal position, and there are also a lot of tactical motives. So why not to study it?
Why not to learn from the best, especially when you have such a, as I said, thematical
Mhm.
match. They're training French defense. They're showing us how to do that. And
Mhm.
well, speaking of concrete, plus 11. Oh my, plus 11
There are
for
some sacrifices
white.
here. Black is preparing to play rook b1, but there is not big of drama here for white because at some point after trading the rooks, king comes on d2 and king is safer. Yet another move. And here, on the other hand, Hu Yifan is calculating some sacrifices. I believe that. Knight g6 is the first move. Second move might be queen f4 or queen f3 to immediately attack the f7 pawn, sacrifice the rook, and then get the bishop. But she's going the easiest way. She is capturing the knight, which is good defender. And after king takes, maybe now knight g6 wins the rook. On a spot, queen g6 also looks very strong. Queen f4 is an option. So this move is a winning move, and she goes for rook. That is one extra rook on the board, and king still is weak.
Yeah, there is some hope here for the A pawn, if only it could become a queen. But there is timing. There is timing. There is this queen. There is this king. Sorry, Keti, you said it. It is a week,
Mhm.
and there might be some checkmate soon. Who is faster, black or white? The queen promotion or the checkmate to the king?
Mhm.
Um,
Oh,
the
it means that
extra
white has three moves here to checkmate the opponent. So the
three. No,
black
13,
needs
13. Wait,
no, no, no,
13.
no. I mean, for black it's like a3, a2, a1. That's a three moves, and
Oh yeah,
meanwhile white can
true.
play some attacking idea moves here, and I believe that there's going to be checkmate pretty soon, even in three moves. Queen d8 is now coming. Knight d6 will be the next move, and rook is also coming, and yeah, that's going to be another victory.
Yes, that is true. The three moves were only the time to promote. The queen comes. Well, Who you find is not a machine. She's a human being. She also makes mistakes. So where are they? Where are her mistakes?
Yeah, but knowing her training schedule and the plan, she was pretty much training like machines.
Well,
That is what she's trained for.
this is interesting. I actually read once in one of her interviews
Hmm.
when she already put on hold her competitive career. She
Hmm.
said that she didn't consider herself that professional because she didn't train. Let's say she used to train 3 to 4 hours.
Hmm.
Like if we say in like a routine, yeah, well, not speaking about the training camps obviously, but from her words, she didn't work that hard as many would, and that's why she didn't consider her as being a fully professional.
Oh wow, that's something that I could not expect. But on the other hand, all these cool guys are saying that they are not training enough, and for them it's never enough to train. They want to, put up 100 percentage and get 100 percentage out of it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
For many of us, she's pretty much professional chess player, and
Yes, definitely.
she's
There
just
is.
amazing.
Yeah, the definition of professional is can be explained in many ways, but well, either way, she is one of the world's best of all time female chess players, and
Hmm.
she's here. She's making our day. In fact, she's making our day. Her presence here,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, we have this position once again when we have the symmetrical pawn structure. And earlier we saw really nice technique from Yifan. She started attack on the king side out of nothing, and then also we saw beautiful technique in the end game, and she converted everything into the point. 3 minutes before the end of this format, I am personally looking to the short-term time control. Let's see if Gulnar has more to show in that format. So I believe this is the last game for this format. What do you think?
yes, definitely. This is the last game because once the timer is over, they will still have a chance to finish the game. It's not like in Arena Kings where your game gets
Hmm.
aborted whenever the timer is off. No, here they will continue. This game will be the last. And speaking of end games, the previous end game that we saw, the one you described was really drawish, symmetrical, equal,
Hmm.
and how if I managed to outplay. And in fact, here we have the exact same variation that was in that game. It
Hmm.
is the exchanged variation of the French defense. This is the strategy of Gulnar. She wants to just to survive until it's getting shorter and faster. We all expect her to score more in the shorter time control. And well, I said speaking of endgame, here it's not an endgame yet. It's not an endgame yet,
Hmm.
but there is a tendency the queens would eventually trade.
Yeah. Here is interesting if Black is going to Long Castle or she will keep the king in the center and put up some pressure on H file, because this H3 pawn um, can be a target for Black. And here we have Long Castle. She wants to attack, and I would be afraid if I were white to show a castle on the short side, because bishop h3 is right there at some point. So that's why Gulnar here goes to long castle as well, to avoid this kind of attacking play from Black. And what can be the plan here for Black? Do you see some ideas?
Well, yeah, there is this 94, which already is partly an answer, taking the center, maybe considering f5. And speaking of short castle, I would even call it a suicide, castling under such an open file with a rook here would be totally insane. Yes, of course, Gunnar didn't do that. Here's the plan for Black. Well, there is this beautiful knight. You said it already in the in the previous time we had this structure, it is like who is the person who is the one to take these central squares for the knights
Mhm.
is having an advantage. She did it. How you find put the knight on e4, then there was a trade, and now we have this a2 pawn exchange, the traded versus the d4 central pawn. Usually we say that the central pawn is more important than the side pawn.
Mhm. Yes, but when you have the king on that side and the queens and rooks are still on the board, we might see some sort of attack on the queen side. How about to push c5 at some point?
c5, interesting pawn break in the center. Yes, looks really really basic, looking at this pawn structure, this position. And here we go, you asked for it, you have it.
Thank you. Are you fun to give me that satisfaction?
She heard you, she took your advice on seriously.
Yeah, and here this pawn end game in long perspective, if we're talking about end games, of course, the pass pawn, farther pass pawn which black has on a file is stronger. Um, um, but uh, but the question is if they are going to trade the queens now. That's a good question. What do you think? Is she going to trade the queen or keep the queen? Or she's
I just
trading?
wanted to say that it would be interesting to avoid queen trading because Huyafine wants to score
Mhm.
and Gulnar wants to just to
Half score.
equalize, yeah, to half score. So yeah, I'm surprised she did trade those. I'm surprised because, well, it's here it looks way better
Mhm.
for white. This type of endgame looks way more promising for white compared to the previous endgame we had. The position
Mhm.
is equal. I even wanted to say that I prefer white here, you know?
Oh, really? Mm.
Yes, because there is this idea like rook b4, it is stronger than the rook, let's say, I don't know, rook d8. Rook h1 has way more opportunities here than the rook on h8. And what did I say, rook h1? Yeah, rook h1, yeah, anyway. And the bishop. Look at the
Yeah.
bishop. The bishop on e4 is strong. It is stronger than the bishop on e6. Well, he might be kicked away, which would not be the case for black. Now h5. Wait, what? No, I don't agree with that one. I don't agree with that one. But she didn't have any choice, right? Her rook was attacked, so she couldn't just
Mhm.
uh could she? Rook h1, would that be possible? Maybe not after a5. Okay, that explains everything. I am trying to just to describe the things, but I do not calculate anything. And here, in fact, yes, there would be this problem for the rook, which forced Gulnar to get back to the passive mode.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So we have this position for the moment, and the time is already up for this format. After this game, we'll have a very short break, and the next time control will start quickly. Draw might be here. Normal result for both players. But if I were black, I would play more, yeah, here.
Yes, definitely. Now that we know that how you find it feels really comfortable in this kind of endgame, she's capable of converting, con- outplaying her opponent out of nowhere. So
Mhm.
that is true. But she also has a 5 points difference, and it starts to be a lot. They say four is already a lot. So usually like 2-3 points are okay in this kind of matchups, but 5 points difference is already a lot. And even if she might be crushing her opponent with her eyes closed, in the end of the day, she needs to guarantee the win in this matchup, and she should not be underestimating her opponent.
Oh, I'm sure she knows that quite well because she has such a big experience. This experience that chess players are getting for years, it goes nowhere. And yeah, we are observing beautiful play from Yifan. She has amazing tactical skills, and also she has also amazing technical skills. This is really beautiful.
Yeah, this combination makes you world's best,
Yeah.
being both great at tactics and strategical play.
Yeah, absolutely. Because mainly most of the players, um, they choose one direction, or they feel comfortable with direct one direction, and they are training more of their strengths. For last years, I believe that this attitude changed a little bit, and players now are training on both of these skills. And yeah, this mainly happens at the highest level of chess, and this is really nice to see one player being two person two people at the same time in the one game.
Yes, being universal, being universal.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention, Keti, I didn't like the move king to d2. I was hoping for king d4 being more active in the end game. That was actually a surprise for me why she didn't play that. I guess she wanted to protect the g pawn. There was no way to protect me, but
I agree with that.
nevertheless,
I
yeah.
agree with that. King d4 is beautiful move, and also avoids some future checks. Like when rook captures on g2, that's gonna be with a check, so you have to lose that move there as well.
Yeah, I was surprised by this decision, but okay. The game finished in a draw, which is a small achievement. It is an achievement for Gulnar because now she keeps this 5 points difference. She's down 5 points, but we're about to see the segment number 2 with 3+1.
Yeah, let's hope for the best there. And we're coming back shortly, just after the small break.
and welcome back to the Women's Speed Chess Championship. We're now witnessing the match of a legend, Grandmaster Yifan, facing International Master Gulnar Mammadova. We already passed the segment number 1, and we're about to see the second part of it, 3+1. But before we go to that, we do have something to tell you. We're super excited to be having the world's championship match, and you know what? Chess.com has the exclusive rights for it.
Yeah, that's amazing, and we're looking forward for the match against Magnus Carlsen and Jan Nepomniachtchi, who are also very good friends, and all the eyes are on them for sure. But before that, we have things to do over here, and as we're starting the new format, that's going to be 3+1, and we're hoping for the best for Gulnar Mammadova, who has not scored any points so far. We can see both players here at the screen. We have a little smile from Yifan as well. And they are well focused already, and I guess they will start soon.
They are about to start, and it is true, Yifan is leading 5 points ahead, and Gulnar didn't score any points yet, as you said. The only thing I would add is that she does have 1 point. This is because she made 2 draws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, Keti. Oh my! No French defense anymore. How did that happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe she has some preparation here. Knight c6. I don't remember the name of this opening, but I know that can be really tricky for e4. Here we have on the screen Yifan thinking, and look at her. Look at her posture. She's trying to remember maybe the line, and knowing this knight c6, it's not that sharp variation, but you have to remember how to set up your pieces, because black will start to push some pawns in the center, and you need to be ready for that.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the name of this opening, there might be many different things out of it. It could be kind of Nimzo, but not Nimzo. It could be Perk, or yeah, it could be actually, or Modern. Perk or Modern could be actually, no, now it definitely looks like Perk.
Yes. And here we have the main idea of c6. A knight c6 first move is to develop the king side, just like this, what we have, king's Indian position, and then to start play in the center with e5 pawn. Here white has to make some decision to keep the pawn on d4 or to push d5, and in that case, if white pushes d5, then knight jumps on e7, and that is really good square for knight, because then after f5, king side attack will be really really something that white should be afraid of. All right.
It didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Black eventually took on d4, and now we have a different structure, which means different plans.
Yeah, exactly. So here we have bishop d7, and the idea of this bishop d7 sometimes is to capture d4 knight, then come bishop c6 and target e4 pawn. I have seen some positions with queen c8 as well to target h3 pawn, then to push h5 h4. But I think she's going for, yeah, this setup is most logical one.
Yeah, now she decided to focus on another weakness. So to be, it's not a weakness. It's not a weakness on e4, but it is the only target for black. And she's doing good. She's doing it. She's attacking. This is a typical plan. Well, objectively speaking, white does have an advantage here. After all, it's a perk defense. It is not known to be equalizing for black, but it is also a good weapon for Blitz, because you actually, once again, you can play fast, you can trick, and if your opponent doesn't remember the main line, he could actually not find a way how to equalize. Speaking of d5, and now white has a decisive advantage.
Here we have intermediate capturing one, but I don't think that's going to change a lot because d5. After taking on d5, we have another intermediate move, bishop takes g7, and knight on d5 will be hanging. I'm not quite sure that Gulnar calculated that before she played d5.
Neither do I think she did. Yeah, it looks like a blunder, Keti. Was that necessary? D5. It's true that it's a main idea, one of the main pawn breaks. After all, here in this position, Black didn't have any control of the center, which is a pity, and he wanted to make his best to gain back the center. D5 perhaps wasn't the right moment.
Yeah. Yeah, she miscalculated something, and now she has to admit that it was a blunder, and she's getting back the bishop on d7, and she's going to play a little bit defensive mode, but that actually happens when when you don't calculate.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Okay, so what are the threats? Well, first of all, as simple as that, Black is one pawn down, and this is d5 pawn. Oh my, it looks like a total blunder. Yes, let's just admit it.
Yeah. Here there are lots of ideas, maybe to push d6 to get more space, get the knight on d6. Also, the king side dark squares are weak. Knight is stuck on h7 in defense. These squares. Now she's trying to trade, even though she is pawn down, and usually we don't trade pieces when we are missing some material. She had to do it because white pieces are extremely active, and there is no point to wait the opponent to win the game.
There was also a nice idea in case of trading h takes g5, now opening the h file and trying to have at least some counterplay, even though the pawn would be protected by the bishop, but it would eventually bring one extra pawn to the center for Black. So could be an interesting thing to do, even though, as you said, we know we do not trade ourselves when we are the material down. Well, surprisingly or not, how you find decline that trade, and now the position we have is
yeah, that's pretty much winning, because after d6 pawn move, another pawn will be lost. So here we are back to our beloved French defense.
French transposed to Sicilian, which is a King's Indian. You know, I've been covering some of this similar pawn structures together with Alexandra Kostyniuk, and every time she kept telling me, Dina, why do you call it a French? Why do you call it a Sicilian? It is not. It is King's Indian, and that's it. You cannot just decide what is the opening whenever there is on judging on what Black plays.
Yeah, and here we have again this same idea. At this moment, Gulnar decided to stop the queenside attack. We have witnessed it was the first game, right? In the first game, when Black showed extreme skills of
yes, taking the control of the B file.
Yes, and here Gulnar stopped this attack with a4 pawn. There is still a good play here for Black. As you can see, there is a semi-open file for the rooks. For the moment, queen occupies the b file. Next can be a4, knight a5, some maneuvering, or maybe even c4 or d4. This is the idea. But white still keeps this maneuvering of the knight and on the king side. So we might see now some attack on the king side. With also the idea is to play h5, h6, or knight h2, knight g4. It's up to the taste of white.
Yes, definitely. We do see a slight advantage for Black. But yeah, this is explained that they achieved more. But comparing to the first game, it feels like White is doing better here. White improved on their weaknesses, and we already see the pawn on h6. The only thing is the rook on b bar is super ugly.
That's okay. That's okay to be ugly sometimes for
If
some
it's
time.
for the sake for it's if it's for the crown, then it's okay.
Yes. Yes, I like this maneuvering of what Gulnar is doing, maneuvering with pieces. She pushed H pawn like a soldier to create some weaknesses, and now she's not pushing more pawns, but she's bringing now the pieces. And oh my God, she's losing the bishop.
Wait, what happens after
Knight should take.
knight
Knight should
takes, bishop
take and
takes,
queen
queen g4? There might be knight e5, in fact. Yes, looks like the pieces are feeling bad. And after knight e5, we shall say queen takes g5, bishop takes g5, queen takes g5, and
oh, but Dina, how about just knight h2 and queen g4 idea, just to sacrifice that, because
oh,
king
what a
is
nice idea! What a nice idea
yeah, king
indeed.
is after
And
bishop.
after bishop g5, you want to
Yeah.
take and attack back this bishop. Very nice, but somehow computer
Bishop
doesn't
d3,
agree.
bishop d3, and the bishop comes in defense.
Bishop d3, let us see this one. Oh, it's so complicated. Knight f3, attacking the bishop. Could be actually holdable here still.
Maybe king h8, just like that, and get the e5 pawn.
Oh, let us see. King h8. It is.
Oh no, after bishop g5.
After bishop g5, yeah, and then king h8. Okay, here, yeah. Yes, could be. Let us see what happened in the game. We already have an no, we do not. We don't have any updates. Gulnar is taking her time. This is yes, it is a crucial moment, critical. They say critical moment of the position.
Oh, she made a move, because I see how you found.
Oh yeah, she did. She did. You're right. She did make the move. Oh, knight takes d5. Wow, this one we didn't analyze. Interesting. Pawn takes f4, knight takes f4, king h8, knight h5, bishop f8, queen e4 followed in the game, and black is still having an advantage, especially after bishop takes h6.
This is position. Oh, for the moment, knight is hanging on c6.
Knight is hanging, but you cannot take it, can you? Queen takes c6 is not possible because of, hello, bishop b7. Say bye to your queen. It would be a queen loss.
Yeah, that's it. After queen d6, there's bishop f8 idea.
Queen b6, queen b5.
Queen d6, queen d6.
Queen d6, queen d6, bishop f8 or rook a6. Yeah. Well, that would be interesting. That would be just a total capture of the queen. That's why it didn't happen. That's why it didn't happen. And we had an update: knight f6, knight takes f6, e takes f6, queen f6, queen takes e6. And this is the position we have. Totally lost for white. Unfortunately, they are one piece down.
Yeah. But it was so nice position. There was unfortunate blunder with the knight e3. Somehow I believe that white could complicate even more that position, but this is what it is, and we might see soon resignation. And I believe now this is a time control where Gulnar should end the game if it's losing quite quickly and get into the next chance and next game.
Yes, absolutely. Also, for now, we could think that things are super easy for Yifan, but the rating difference is only 200 points. It's not enough to be leading 100%. There must be a counterplay in this match. There must be some fight. Yifan is just having it so easy. Well, now there is a resignation after the rook blunder. Okay. Seems like there are some chances for Gulnar every time, but these chances are only to equalize or to continue like the normal way, not to avoid the mistakes. But Yifan herself doesn't do any mistakes so far. We haven't seen any blunder from her side at all.
Yeah. Yeah,
That is
that's
impressive.
true. That's true. I haven't witnessed any uh like terrible blunders or just a blunder. She's playing really clean game, showing really nice skills, and we want her to be back at chess. She can make some of the good performances. I think still she can do it after so many years of break already.
Yeah, so some people say when she realized she was not she was too far to fight for the world's crown, she lost some motivation. Could that be true?
You mean
The world's crown, the one that
uh,
belongs to Magnus for now.
I believe that she had another interest in her life, and that's quite okay to accept it, rather than to give up because you think that you cannot get it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, we have little bit different position here. This same line we already saw. Once again, thank you, ladies, for teaching us how to play French defense. Once again, Queen G4 followed by King F8. We do not like that king there anymore. The difference compared to the previous positions we had in this line is that white actually castled, and this followed after queen a5. White actually castled, and white doesn't attack yet the king, the black's king, their biggest weakness. This could be this could explain the fact that the position is equal and black is, let's admit it, black equalized here
Mm-hmm.
in this line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's no problems here. The pawn on c5 is we can say it's not the great pawn, but for the moment it's not tanking. So and then black can also start to roll the pawns in the center with d4, create some threats. e5 pawn can be a target at some point. I think black is alright in this position.
Yes, I definitely prefer black here. I do think they have an advantage actually, and this position favors me more. Well, once again, the only worry is the rook. I do not like when when the pieces are stuck somewhere in the corners. There should be harmony, between all of your pieces.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely agree with that.
So we expect sooner or later king g8 and king h7 to do the artificial castle in order to bring the rook somewhere to the open files. Okay, so far, is this the first like thinking of all the positions that Gulnar had against Yifan, is this the first where she's doing good? I mean, I
I
cannot
believe
say.
that she was doing as well like previous position, but it was an unfortunate blunder. Um, yeah, it was normal like previous game as well.
So in fact, she was doing good in all the positions until
Yeah,
some moments,
yeah,
and she
yeah,
goes for the
and
pawn.
we have witnessed the victory of How You Find It mostly in the end games.
True. So she just has this like she can control it in a long term better throughout the whole game, not making any mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have knight e5 on the board, and now after knight takes e5, queen takes e5, black will be doing great, totally great, being a pawn down already now. So what should be next for white? Rook b7. Okay, that makes sense. Bringing the rook here. Once again, I was wondering the other time, Keti, what would is there any way to describe this seventh rank for rook? Because in Russian there is actually a very nice term meaning that this is just a dream for any rook to come to seventh or second rank.
Really? Yeah, I don't know in English because I'm not a native speaker, but I've heard that this rook on a seventh rank or second rank is a half point extra. That's what I heard.
And speaking of a half point, now we already have 8 points extra because there has just been a blunder. We have just witnessed a blunder d4. Oh my. And after rook b3, this is a discovered attack on the queen with the attack on the rook, and now 8 points for Yifan here in this game after she manages to win this rook or queen. She eventually went for queen.
Our chat says that
FIDE.
it called a peak because it's collecting some pawns or what? Yeah, in many languages there's different terms for all this, moves and mannering, and it's so fun to know all of this.
Absolutely. Once again, French defense. I
good example. Just because of no connection between these two rooks, we had a blunder.
That is true. That is true. Very good point. This was some kind of punishment for Black to ignore that much their rook. Okay, here we go. Once again, symmetrical structure. Black is doing good in the beginning. We know that. We have already seen that. Black is gaining advantage here, step by step, almost every time, even though it starts being equal.
Yeah. So once again, we have this setup, but they are trying to change somehow. And here we have this knight maneuvering on f5, and the pawn is supporting from g6.
Yes, very nice. One could say, isn't that weakening the dark squares? But no, it's not, because there is no one taking advantage of it. There is no dark squared bishop anymore for white, and he cannot enter those squares, so it is fine. But sometimes it's really not advised for the beginners, for instance, to push your pawns, which are supposed to protect the king.
Yeah, I agree with that. But for the moment, it's hard to say how white is going to use that weakness. And here we have some traits, and white is, for the moment, white is controlling e file. But after rook e8, these rooks will be off the board. And okay, this endgame after queen traits can be. Oh,
yeah.
This is interesting.
Now it can. I know what you wanted to say. You wanted to say it couldn't be bad for white, but
yeah. But she made a move before I say that, so I stopped on time.
Actually, she didn't do much. Actually, her mistake was rook e1 itself, because tactically it is lost. Here, there is no, after rook e8, there is no choice anymore. White does need to take back the rook. And unfortunately, sometimes chess is concrete. Even though we were trying so much to explain the things to you in a general way, sometimes you do need to calculate, and here the calculation process shows us that the one or other or another pawn will be will fall, and this brings an advantage again to Black, to Yifan.
I just had a question for which came to my mind. If Yifan, after being gone from being professional chess player, if she's keep training chess, that's something that I'm so curious. Like, she's so good. I think that she's training every day and keeping her shape.
Sometimes for such people, chess is just a part of their life, and even if, let's say, they are not active, they're not competing actively, they still keep a track of everything that is happening in chess daily. And I wouldn't be surprised if she was still solving at least puzzles every day. Well, that's actually a good question. Oh my, we have so many questions to ask her. We won't have much time, but we do need to come up with something
Mhm.
which could eventually reveal some secrets.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're witnessing. I wanted to say we're witnessing the dying animal here, but there might be a hope for a perpetual.
Oh, that's a
Let's
good point.
say
What?
king.
Why Black is going to? Oh, for white.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean for both. Yeah, for both. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. For why there might be a perpetual here.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Because after King H6, there's Queen F4 check.
Yes. And king is attacked, so he needs to go. And now Hoifan takes your time. He goes king h6, g5. Only way to avoid. Okay, now no perpetual for a moment because there is queen g6, but it's a queen endgame. There is still hope. There is still hope for Gulnar to make it as a draw, not to lose it. Also known to be totally winning when you're playing queens endgame with so many pieces up.
Hmm. Okay, after Queen G6, there's Queen F8, another check. King comes on H5. There's G4 check, and King can capture that. There is F3, but no, she's not going for that. I think she will try a little bit here, and of course, draw is a good result for Hou Yifan as well. If it's drawn, she will accept it.
Yeah, she will accept it because she has 8 points. She's 8 points ahead of her opponent. But I'm
Yeah,
curious
there
if
are
she's
some
greedy.
practical chances. There are some practical chances for Mammadova to equalize the match because still there's 19 minutes to go. We don't know what's gonna happen, and then we have another format 1+1 ahead of us. So that's why Hou Yifan is trying to be fully focused to get all the possible points, and she is not relaxed yet.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Black chose a good plan here to advance their king, to activate the king. But now I look at the evaluation bar and I see that that was actually a mistake because there is finally a perpetual here for Gulnar. That is a nice thing. Um, yeah, well, I was saying, I'm wondering if Hoifan is greedy for the points, but it's not just about being greedy, it's just about being professional the moment you play the game. So if you have an advantage, usually
Mhm.
you want to convert it no matter what is the score, even though draw is also good for you.
Yeah, and here we had beautiful smile from Hou Yifan. I believe she knows that it was winning position and she missed the chance we have not seen yet missing chances from Hou Yifan, but yeah, her smile was very beautiful.
Oh, that's true. This might be actually the first time she actually missed her chances.
Yeah.
Okay, first time we didn't see any queen g4 in this line. First time Black will be able to castle as a human being. Or maybe not, now that the h.
Don't know
Okay,
yet.
I guess White's Rook doesn't share the same opinion.
Mm. Oh, Dina, I remember how Yifan was playing most of the tournaments with a cup. She had always the same cup. It was a like mug mostly, and this mug was covered. And we, all of us, when we were kids, were so curious what was inside, what she was drinking during the game. Um, and I think later on she was still having this mug with her during her games.
Wasn't it some kind of a sponsorship drink?
No. It was nothing written there. It was just a huge map. It was some metal. It was looking like metal, and it was covered from the top. So to keep the heat, I guess it was something like tea.
It
And
is
she was drinking during the game.
it is well
It's
known that some of the players actually have the rituals, drinking some tea or coffee, or having, especially being kids, having even some animals on the on the near
basket.
them. Well, now the rules have been more strict recently. The rules have been restricted. The latest official championships I've been playing forbid actually the presence of any drink on the table.
Oh,
Yes,
even
I'm
water?
curious. Yeah, even water. Well, this was more of, national and championships in Russia, but also
Mm.
I believe European Championship recently. I'm curious to see how it will go in the World Cup, which will start soon, from the
Oh,
10th
maybe
of
it
July.
was because of the restrictions, restrictions. They are avoiding to have some
Yes, also, but
additional.
also because there's always a risk that you do some accident and you split it on the
Mm.
chessboard,
Yeah, I have
which,
seen that. I have seen that at one
yeah,
turn. It was horrible process. It's so funny process. It was a T on the board, like on three boards, I guess. And we were just adjusting. Arbiter was there, times were running. Some players were reminding us their seats and thinking about the position. So it was such a mess. And I'm really happy that nowadays we have these rules that it's forbidden to eat and at the chessboard.
so just for those who wonder where does all this conversation go to, if there was some kind of a special drink which made Hou Yifan win the games, she wouldn't be able to use that often anymore. But I do believe she doesn't need all that. She's just capable of beating anyone naturally. But it is interesting. Many strong players do have their habits, their rituals, and sometimes even it could be an important psychological thing for them to win. As we know, even tennis players, for instance, some of them need to throw the ball several times in order to make their thing.
Oh, yeah. Do you have something like this that
I
you're
used
using?
to I used to have, for instance, I really prefer like having this idea of a lucky pen, because when you're playing over the board chess, you do need to know the moves, and you have your pen sometime. Well, you used to have your pen, and whenever I lost the game during the tournament, I used to change the pen, almost obligatory change your pen because it was unlucky. What about you?
Oh no, I don't have any, and I was really strict with that not to have anything because then I'm so much focused on that part, how the things are going, that I just don't want to have any of those things.
Yes, absolutely. Let us see what happened on the board during the time we were discussing what Hou Yifan drinks. But now we need to discuss what Hou Yifan plays, because she did play some moves here, even many moves, and she has an advantage. I'm not surprised. She does have an advantage. There have been some changes in the pawn structure. Now look at this. Oh my, look at this bishop on e6. Is that a bishop or simply another pawn in this pawn chain?
Yeah, it's not looking good. It's a good bishop here, and also the other pieces are not good looking. Um, for black, but we have seen this kind of structure where Gulnar was able to make a draw.
Yes, absolutely. So the knight is passive protecting the b6 pawn. The bishop e6 is just a pawn. The rook on h7 is not a rook. Does black here have any normal piece?
Uh, the thing is that they are well defended for the moment. And I think now b5 will be a move that's gonna be safer. But oh no, at the same time the pawn is gone from h file, and now that's gonna be extra pawn.
Yeah, that's gonna be a passed pawn here. Wow, she dominates. She dominates so fast. Her opponents. We do not even realize when is the critical moment. When does Black make mistake? What about this game? Where did Black make mistake? If we want to be, let's say, if we want to be objective, let us go back a little bit and see where was the mistake here. Because I honestly think that it will be super fast for for White to convert.
Oh, by the way, Dana, sorry, Dina, it's I've heard from some chess players that playing against the strongest opponents, it is they are taken as their um, advantage in the future, because they can see what problems do they have in the openings or just in their games, and who can show you that better than the strongest chess player?
That
So
is
I
true.
believe I believe that after this match, Gulnar with her coach will analyze her games and finding her the mistakes that she made, and in the future there's gonna be a great experience for her, like as if she takes this match as a training match.
Absolutely, this is what I meant. It's an amazing opportunity simply because it's an amazing experience which can reveal your weaknesses, which can show you where you what are your strengths also. But here mostly weaknesses, definitely looking at the score. Well, I actually have this kind of philosophy whenever I play any game because against is yes, true. eh, Versus a stronger opponent, you're right. Because I usually say, okay, I have nothing to fear. The worst thing that can happen is that I will lose, and then I will see like what are the things that I need to work on. But also I mostly relate this to my opening repertoire.
Hmm. Yeah.
And also, it is interesting. Sometimes I even tell myself, whenever I succeeded with the opening, no matter what is the result, I already succeeded the game. Because especially when you start a new opening, you do need to master that one. And well, chess is so complicated, and everyone has his own secrets.
Yeah, and strategies, that's true. But
And
okay, let's look at from the bright side. Gulnar Mammadova here managed to score 1.5 points against a very strong chess player. This is something that we should also point, like how many chess players can score any result against Hou Yifan.
yes, that is true. That is absolutely true. And still, no matter what happens, here in 3+1, we do expect her to win some games in bullet section.
Mhm. Yeah, bullet section will be the most fun part of this match.
Also, she's not the one. She's not the only one who has a big, let's say, big difference in the score against her opponent. We've already seen those matches. I believe Lei yesterday had a really big advantage. Wasn't it 14-4 or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It was a very big advantage for Anna from the very beginning.
Was it for Anna versus Yulia?
Yeah, Anna Muzaczyk versus
Yes.
Yulia Osmak. Yeah, even though Yulia Osmak is a player who wins a lot of online events, still the fight was not that close.
Yes, because sometimes it is also like you respect your opponent so much that it affects the way you play.
Yeah.
Okay,
No
speaking of the
respect for the
points.
opponents.
No respect at all. Not to no one, not even to world champions. And yes, this is how you can beat them. This is how Andrei Yesipenko beat it Magnus Carlsen. You shouldn't respect them with all the respect to them. Here we go. The position is equal. It might be yet one more chance to score for Gulnar, having 2 points in the end of the day or in the end of the segment too.
Well, she can say that she scored. She scored some points against Yifan. Why not?
There we go.
If I were a Gulnar, I don't know if I could even manage to get half point against Yifan. Let's be honest. So here we have Mammadova Gulnar putting all what she can do. She's doing her best.
Yeah, so well, you never know. It's also it's a question of your state of mind, the exact moment where you face these beasts. And at least changing the topic here, we have something new. I asked for it, and here we go. Again, modern defense could be transposed to Pirk. Playing against who you find. You know, it's interesting. Now let me put myself on the Gulnar's position. If I were Gulnar, I would probably consider playing some main openings, main lines. No, that's not what I meant. Playing solid openings, not the dubious ones, because at least to avoid getting crushed, you know, in the opening parts. Because anyway, this players, as how you find, they like whatever they play themselves in dubious, they usually just kill you. Okay, we are not on their place. We are commentators, and we are here to see what happens and to comment on it. And what happens is that right now, White is having an advantage because they have a center, because this is a normal thing that happens in the modern defense. The idea of Black is to make some kind of a pawn break. Now that the bishops are killed for now, they are stopped by 2 double barriers. These are barriers. The very important thing would be to break through either with e5 or to c5 and to hope for some kind of counterplay here for Black. That would be a dream.
Yeah, absolutely. That can be a plan for Black to activate their bishops and break through this century, because strong century means that White has more space, and more space means that White pieces have better scores. And also look at this rating, 2792 on Chess.com. We might witness her
passing 28.
28.
We actually had just in the previous game before before the 2 consecutive draws. I believe these were 2 consecutive draws. Yes. Before that, How You Find did already cross 2800. I noticed that it is a very big rating, very high rating. It's still not enough to reach, let's say, Hikaru or Danya Naroditsky, but it is very impressive. It is one of the strongest ratings of any female chess players having their official accounts on Chess.com.
Yeah, we just saw that Yifan took her glasses off and just tried to relax a little bit the eyes. Does that mean that she's a bit tired? Let's check the time. Let's just check the time. If somebody knows which city she lives, and if that makes any sense, the time difference, that's gonna be perfect. I think it's quite late for her already.
Yeah, but okay, Dina has been forced to so many different conditions, playing at basically almost any time. I believe How You Find, yeah, she just needs to accept it. No matter what the time is, you play chess, that's your thing. You're one of the best at it, and you'll do good.
Oh, China has only one time zone. That means that at her place it's almost 10 p.m.
Wow. Okay. So, speaking of the position here, we have a nice knight on c4. I do like this knight because it's an outpost, but there is also knight on g5. And the question is, who is more dangerous? Knight on g5, you know, it attacks and it threatens the king. Not so easy to kick it. But when we compare it to the knight on c4, what does this knight attack? Nothing.
Yeah. Knight on g5. Or we can also see it creates some mating threats right now. Mating one is on the board. On the other hand, e6 pawn is hanging. This pawn can be taken by the queen, by the knight, both possible. And h5 is hanging. If somehow miraculously, with a miracle, black defends all these threats, then queen takes h5. That's gonna be good enough.
She didn't even want to do that. She just played the cozy little rook e1. Nice, showing that she has time. She has time. She's not in the rush to smash everything here on black's position.
Yeah, indeed. Rook b1 now gets the b file over the control, and e3 bishop is hanging at some point. Maybe queen b4 is black's next move to target the rook, and just increase the pressure on e3 bishop as well.
Yeah. How much time do we have left in this second segment?
Seconds. This is the final game for this segment. 40 seconds, more exactly.
40. Okay, this is the final game, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the last game of this. Okay, of the 3+1. Okay, Gulnar, you can do it. You can do it. Well, maybe not. In this game, maybe not. I don't see much here for black.
Ooh.
Wow, nice sacrifice. Very nice sacrifice, showing us how to take care of your rooks. Rook takes e6, rook takes followed by queen f7, and now getting back this rook, winning the knight on d7, which already made two extra piece and the checkmate coming.
Yeah, that's it. I see lots of tactical motifs and were played in this game, and I think that's gonna be Chess.com base of puzzles will be filled with these tactics.
Absolutely. We have just finished this segment number 2. Shall we now take a short break before we witness the bullet section?
That sounds perfect.
and we're back with a very brief announcement here. Junior Speed Chess Championship starts July 4th on Chess.com, and the total prize fund in that tournament is $35,000. If you are a junior player, that is your chance. Or if you have a friend who fits in this category, please spread the word and bring your friends into this tournament.
Absolutely. That is
Dina.
an amazing opportunity for juniors to compete. Although, isn't that a final segment that was already decided in the semifinal, in the qualifications? Could be. We will see that later. But anyway, here we are with yet another amazing event with an amazing prize fund. Once again, we have Women's Speed Chess Championship, and we're approaching segment number 3.
Exactly. And here we are. We're looking for this segment so much from the starting. We have bullet chess 1+1, 25 minutes to go. We're hoping the best for both players, of course. We kindly wish to Gulnar Mammadova to score some more points, but she is already a very good player to be here among all these stars. And already scored 2 points. That's 4 draws, right?
Yes, that is true. She does have 2 points, but she didn't yet win any single game, which is a little bit a pity, but she will definitely score back. Maybe because for the very rare time we do not have any French defense anymore. We have a Sicilian. First time Sicilian. It was Yifan who changed the direction of the flow. Do you think Keti Yifan had a special repertoire prepared for the bullet segment?
Oh, that's a good good thing. I think yes, maybe not. Like, she is so comfortable to play anything, any opening. And I believe that she has number of openings in her base that she can play, and she can be really confident. Yeah, her preparation is probably amazing, and she can choose whatever she wants, just whatever she remembers.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of the openings and the position, here we have a slight advantage for black. No, not anymore. After an amazing g5 pawn break, trying to compete for this e5 square, key square for black. And here we go. Black has
H4, there was a move. There was
this
it was
H4.
a good one, but I love that move, H4, fighting for the square. Somehow, like, find this bishop e5, really nice idea to guard the pawn on f4. That's an extra pawn. I love extra pawn. Who doesn't love extra pawn? And now she's bringing more and more forces. Maybe rook h8, h pawn will be gone, another h pawn will be hanging, and rook will come on h file just to grab h4 pawn. Next can be maybe bishop f6. Here we have just get this pawn. Oh no, she's not getting the pawn.
Yeah, she's not. Okay, the position is slightly better for black because draw. Repetition. Okay.
All right. That's a good start for both of them.
That's a good start. Yeah. One thing we could add: the position was with opposite colors. Didn't we mention that opposite colors? This could be.
I did not mention that, but I had in my heart. I saw that.
Yes. So opposite color bishop position in any way usually makes us think that the draw is close, and this is what happened. So okay, that was good.
Yeah.
What is this opening, Keti? It's a ready defense. Knight f3, g6, g3, bishop g7 started with. Very nice. But you know what? Ready could be a close brother to King's Indian setup. No, not anymore after the pawn came to d4. And now we have what do we have now? What pawn structure? King's Indian for black? Yes.
It looks like King's Indian.
King's Indian for
It
black.
looks like King's Indian when the F pawn is traded to D pawn. And it should be quite comfortable here for black. If black managed to get a dark square bishop, then white will have some issues on the dark squares for sure.
Yes, here we have a very typical pawn sacrifice, as Nimtsovich even recognized many times. F4, giving this pawn away after G takes and E takes F4. Black black sacrificed this pawn against the E5 square. Very interesting one. Didn't happen.
Oh,
okay.
Did you notice, Dina, that how Yifan just she just, I think, blundered something, and she had a big smile on her face. What was that for?
No way. No way. She had a big smile. It means, wow. I would never think she could show her emotions that easily. You could never think she could show her emotions that easily. That's nice. That's very nice. Okay.
This is actual game?
Yes,
this is actual game.
Now we have the game. Now we have bullet. Everything moves so fast, everything changes, and we need to adapt. But okay, we didn't say who Yifan is now with the extra with the exchange. She's an exchange up.
Yeah.
Okay, black wants to repeat. White refused with rook f2. Position is totally winning for white, but mouse. I do count on Gulnar's mouse skills.
Yeah, let's see. She already got half point, and we see here bar going up and down, and that is very typical for bullet chess because players are having seconds on the clock, and that's very difficult to play fast and to play without any mistakes. And here we see that black got back the exchange, and we have opposite color bishop again in this position. But white is the first to start checks, and we have now checkmate on f7 in one move. Black tried to defend that, but the pawn is gone. Where the king goes? Where the king goes on the queen side?
The king goes on a world trip. He's discovering the world as if there was still some continent out there to discover.
Yeah. Now b4 will be followed.
Yes, with the king to b7, amazing. And now queen trade, which means a totally losing pawn endgame, not pawn endgame, but yeah, totally losing because of the pawns with the passed pawns. 3 pawns up. Yeah. Even if once again, Keti, we have yet another opposite colored bishop endgame, but in this case, there's nothing for black to hope for. Or maybe there is. Still, for now,
she managed to stop king coming into the center. Now king will take opposition.
No way.
She
did manage. This Tempe, this extra Tempe, she needed to put the bishop on h6, not on f4, because after the pawn sack, king to e4 wouldn't be with a Tempe on the bishop on f4, and then she would actually have the temple. No, it's not the temple. Is it the temple?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now she still tries to hold because she forces the okay. It would be a draw if we it would be a draw had we cut the board into 2 pieces and moved away all this 4 pawns, but not here, not anymore.
Yeah, it could be a draw if the bishop is another color, but not. That's the color we have, and I think it's time to resign for Gulnar start quickly another game because, of course, Yifan can convert this very, very easily.
Yeah, and that is true.
Time is ticking. 16 more minutes until the end of the match.
Absolutely. I do want to say that Gulnar defended pretty well in that losing endgame. She almost made it until the draw. I wish we could show that position to our viewers because it was pretty educational, but everything moves so fast and we already have the next game of the bullet, so we need to stick to this one. And once again, Sicilian defense.
Is it Moscow line, bishop b5?
Oh, Moscow line. Isn't this is Rossolimo, but you mean bishop d7? This is a
No,
Rossolimo
bishop.
Sicilian. I do play with white, and it's pretty interesting here because it started with the closed type of the position, but then just after white played d4 and opened, and now we have the typical normal Sicilian structure with a perfect bishop on g7. Look at that bishop. Isn't that a dream for any bishop to be like him?
It's a role bishop, a role model bishop for all the bishops around the board.
Yeah, speaking of e5, closing the guy, and now with knight e4 coming to d6 or f6, everything just dropped immediate. No, it's not turned in the completely opposite direction. Now white has an advantage.
Yeah, how Yifan somehow finds the best moves to avoid all these knight jumps in the center squares. So she plays f5. This bishop now it's pretty much blocked on g7, and white knight still have some chances for maneuvering. Knight b5, knight d6 might be an idea in the future. For the moment, there's a fight on the file, and in the end game, if queens are off the board, white has a careless position.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
queen b7 is coming. Be careful. Be careful here.
Yeah, she did protect it. For the first time, I do see a very clear advantage for Gulnar. I'm not. Oh, now even more, even clearer advantage for Gulnar. Look at this queen h5 that she missed.
Yeah,
Look at the
queen
moment.
h5 and grab the pawn. Always
Yeah.
grab the pawn. Always grab the pawn.
Absolutely. There was this queen h5 instead of g3, but okay. Still, advantage. Advantage for Gulnar. Could that be your first time beating the world legend, Hu Yifan? Now that the moment I say it, I actually realized
Take the queen. Take the queen. That's your chance. And then push the pawns. Or maybe that's not a good chance.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, because there was f4. You needed to calculate there was f4. Now by saying that, I just realized that the whole point of being there for Gulnar might be just to win against How You Find already a lifetime achievement. I beat
Yeah,
it.
of course.
I beat it world's best.
But yeah,
okay,
it was a good chance. It was a good chance.
Yeah, pity, very much pity for Gulnar. We're still rooting for her. We'll always be rooting for her in this match anyway.
Yeah.
Now we have game number 4. I don't know how your math skills are, but mine are pretty bad. Game number 4, isn't it in the bullet section? We're kind of ready again.
Yeah, it's first was draw, second was how you find win, and third was draw, and this is fourth.
Yeah, game number 4. Again, ready kind of opening. Well, at least they changed the music. I like that. They changed the music of the meaning their opening choice. And yeah, the knight on d5 looks beautiful, but it can be easily kicked away by c6. The bishop g7 here is not that beautiful as it was in the previous game.
Yeah, but has some potential after f5 to be
true.
To try to be beautiful again.
True. All right, Keti, do you play Reti yourself?
Yeah, I like to
so
play Reti.
You should be enjoying this more than the French defense.
Reti is more like dry position, and French defense. I play French defense structure because I play Caro-Kann. And I believe that there are more tricky ideas there and beautiful ideas. So I think I equally enjoy both.
Yes, both openings are quite solid, which is good. And here, getting back to the position, it's not solid anymore for black.
Mhm.
It's not solid anymore.
Here, black has to push f5, and to activate the bishop, this bishop will create so much danger for whites. Bishop d4 will be the move. Knight h3 is also a move, so that means that rook or king has to move right now. Maybe king g2.
It would be a dream to bring the knight to e4, but did we say that there is an exchange up? And when did that happen? There is an exchange up here,
Black
and it happened
sacrificed on d5.
Yes, it happened after pawn takes f2, giving away this rook. In the meantime, it didn't have much of a choice. And okay, the position says, black is winning? What happened? What happened, Keti? What did we miss? By trying to get back, we missed a very important and unique moment. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh no. Bishop f8 in the end.
She missed. I'm trying to understand what she missed. She played a4 and she blundered knight h3, fork, and immediately after bishop f8, pinning the bishop and the rook. Isn't that the skewer? And now her position is totally winning. Not anymore. Boy, how did that happen? Winning again.
Still winning.
Winning again. Well, this is changing so much. Okay, no, this one, honestly, this one, she can do it. She can win this one. No, 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 I said she can win it. Keti, help her somehow. No, this is not winning anymore.
She was too scared to Oh my god.
Oh my god, we right now we cannot commentate anymore. We can just react together with you on what's happening here.
That's a beautiful shouldering of the king, what we are witnessing. And I think this is the first victory.
Yes.
This is the first victory of
Gulnar Mammadova. Saw it. Gulnar Mammadova just did it. Congratulations, she beat it. The world's best, one of the world's best female players of all time, Grandmaster Yifan. And she now has 4 points. Keti, this is the moment I wanted to speak to you before. Looking at the previous matchups, we already know that if Gulnar wants to do good in this matchup, knowing that she might eventually still lose, she should overcome the other girls, which scored. Yulia Smak scored 4.5 against Anna Muzichuk, and Vaishali scored 6, and now Gulnar has 4. So looking at these statistics, she's already doing good. Being an underdog compared to other underdogs, she's doing good.
Yeah, and big applause from us to her. And I believe that she can call this a day. She managed to win at least one game that many players could not do. She managed that. She also managed to get 4 points against her, and I totally feel her. She is extremely happy right now.
Yeah, she must be enthusiastic about what's to come. Speaking of, how many minutes does she have? Does she have more?
She has 7 more minutes. So it's about like 2-3 more games maximum.
2-3 more games. So mathematically, there is no way she could stop Yifan anymore. But she could show the world that she is not an underdog that is there to be adopted.
Yeah, and looking at the ratings, Chess.com ratings here, we have Gulnar Mammadova actually with a higher rating. The rating is 25.99, and it seems like Yifan is not big fan of bullet chess, because her rating here drops dramatically to 2500. And as we expected from the beginning, Gulnar might have good chances here in bullet chess.
Wow, that is actually incredible. Well done, Keti, on spotting this one. I didn't notice at all. It is true that Gulnar is almost 2600 here, and she's a clear favorite in this in this discipline. But the score is even so far, I believe. We had five games already, or six.
Mhm.
Yeah, the score
Five.
is more or less even.
Yeah.
Now queen d6. Blundered. She blundered queen d6. There was a check and taking the pawn. How Yifan now is mating. We're promoting the pawn. No,
Mhm.
what did I say? What did I say? I'm so sorry. Gulnar is playing white. How Yifan blundered.
Oh.
Another win for Gulnar Mammadova. Whoa, we're having
Wow.
the our final joy. We're having our joy. Finally, we have been waiting for this one.
Yeah, we're getting what we requested from Gulnar Mammadova. This is amazing. 2 victories in a row against a very strong chess player. This is amazing. This is amazing. And I kind of have a feeling if we start this match, the reverse time controls, like first 1 minute plus 1 second, and then 3 minutes plus 1 second, we might see a different picture right now. Maybe not fully different, but still, like starting with the victories is very important for the mood and for everything.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, you're right. It's also about your psychological state and being enthusiastic. Whenever you start winning, you feel better and you're inspired and you do better. So
Yeah.
if the order of the time controls was different, it could be that well, objectively saying, Gulnar wouldn't have much chance to win, but still she could score even better.
Hmm. Yeah.
But the party is not over. How much time do we have still?
4 minutes. 4 minutes. That's about 2 more games.
Two more games. Okay, let us see. This opening ready again with the bishop on f5. Very beautiful bishop. Both bishops are amazing here. Look at them. They just I want to say
They're Gulnar's bishops.
yeah.
she's using these bishops really well for the last games. I like this idea when she fianchettos the bishop on g7. That becomes really strong piece.
Absolutely. And there was just a blunder. Didn't you see the c7 pawn? Queen h3, taking the bishop, followed by queen
Mhm.
g2. There was a crucial blunder. Both girls didn't see the knight c7 idea,
Mhm.
taking the pawn in one.
Yeah.
Okay. We're desperately trying to commentate the chess part of the bullet section. It's not that easy. Everything is changing. The moment you start the sentence, you don't want to finish it anymore because the things have changed dramatically.
Mhm. Yeah, 3 minutes remains. Still on the clock. Let's see how many games they can play.
d5 now pawn break, trying to create a passed pawn, which could be just a dish for white. Yes, that's no passed pawn anymore. But yeah, white is better. White is a pawn up. Could be still some drawing chances for Gulnar, which would which would actually improve her chances. She already overcome a Yulia Osmak result, so I'm pretty sure she can be proud of this small achievement. I call it an achievement because the moment the way how the match started, we were heartbroken, we were feeling pain, and we were really worried. Now she definitely makes a good job.
Yeah. Oh, 95 was winning in one move.
Okay, so we're about to
Okay,
see
here we have a resignation and one
yeah,
last game, I guess, because we have less than 2 minutes on the clock.
yeah, one last game most likely. Okay, Gulnar, this is your game. You what? Karakan? No way.
Yeah, it's how you find she plays everything.
Karakan, wow. And the advanced variation, the most so to be ambitious variation of Caro-Kann. I do know it personally because Caro-Kann is one of my weapons for black. I would say, Keti, you also play Caro-Kann, don't you?
Oh yeah, I enjoy to play Caro-Kann. I like those positions very much.
Yeah, that was a good guess of mine. Okay, with a knight on e4, being easily kicked away by f3. Couldn't last long there. But knight on g6 cannot be kicked away. Can be changed though, but this pawn now is like an outpost. The pawn isn't like a... Yeah, sometimes it happens. It is paralyzing completely black's position, at least on the king's side. Nice,
yeah,
nicely played.
What can be really unpleasant here for black is as king side is blocked totally. Here white can start to play also on the queen side, but black is the one who is starting to play it, and that's actually the best decision here black can do, because if not this active play c5 and so on, then white would open the queen side and then control the whole board.
Yes, absolutely. And knight is being kicked away as we predicted. I really like the way how Gulnar dominates this position.
Yeah, knight gets on b5. Maybe it will get on d6 later.
The moment I see that, she blunders the pawn. Knight a4 was a blunder. I am 100% sure, because if she saw that, she would just defend it with anything else, like rook, even a rook a2 or rook b1.
The time is already out here for this format. This is the final match. There will be no more chances for Gulnar to score another point against Yifan.
Yeah, this is the moment. We will be also joined by the players for an interview just after this game is finished. And how will this game be finished? Where are your stakes?
I think that black is putting pieces together, and maybe black can start some nice counterplay on the king. Having opposite color of bishop, that can be a case.
Oh my god, she just blundered. How Yifan just blundered with the king f8. She blundered the infiltrate. Mate in one.
Oh
mate in one. Whoa. Whoa, did you see that? Let me show it to you briefly. It was the moment was when just the moment you were speaking of the opposite colored bishops, there has been move number 36, king g3, which was a mistake because there would be queen e8 attacking the g6 pawn. There would be no way to defend it, I guess. Well, doesn't matter. Bishop h5. Okay, nevertheless, the point is king f8 was the blunder, Keti, followed by queen h2, and now no way to stop this. Wow, and did you see how fast Gulnar made that? She did it just in half a second.
Yeah, she took her chance. That's brilliant. She scored 3 victories against Yifan and a number of draws. I guess 5 draws, 6 draws, maybe 4 draws. But whatever, she scored 6 points. And Yifan won the match with 15. That is brilliant result for, I think both of them are happy.
Yes, absolutely. 15-6, especially that Gulnar made this score in the last point. The last game was a score for her, so psychologically she should be relieved. I guess now it's time for us to take a quick break before we are joined by the players for an interview. and welcome back to the Women's Speed Chess Championship. We have just witnessed the end of the last matchup of the round of 16. We now have the name of our last qualifier, Grandmaster Yifan. We're also joined by her opponent, International Master Gulnar Mammadova. Hello, ladies, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone.
Gulnar, first question to you. It is not every day that you're facing world's best, one of the best female chess players of the history. How did you feel? How did you approach this match?
I first want my English is not very well. I am sorry this is, and I have to say this is a big tournament. I am very happy because play this tournament, and I glad to play with Yifan Ho because she is #1 woman chess world, and I think this is a big practice for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for these honest words, and congratulations for amazing games that we witnessed from you. The next question goes to Yifan. We witnessed beautiful play from your side, and there was a question: do you still train chess? How you keep in this form?
Well, actually, not really. I mean, probably you noticed, or maybe people who follow chess noticed that I didn't play any serious chess tournaments starting from beginning of this year. Well, there were kind of rapid one in China happened at the very beginning of the year, like the New Year festival. But after that, there were nothing serious. And to be honest, I was busy with my job in the university and also some other projects going on at the same time. So I'm not particularly training myself and not playing very often, but not playing often. Yeah, and it's a great pleasure to be back and having our Speed Chess Championship as my first, let's say, official online event this year. And as I think I'm also a regular guest here for different Speed Chess Championships, both for the women and also for the open section before. Yeah.
We also know that you will be competing this summer as well with world's best players. And what are your plans for this one?
Are we talking about the rapid event that will coming soon?
Yes.
Okay, so actually I also got invitation like not long ago, and I thought it's a good opportunity and it's online, so I thought my schedule will make it work. So I just accepted. But to be honest, no preparation has been done so far. But personally, I'm expected to this event and considering this as a practice. Just a practice, and hopefully I will show some, decent performance. That means I'm not like, giving all the points away. That would be some, let's say, basic expectations. And I'll take opportunity like this speed chess also as a warm-up because for this rapid and bullet like shorter time control events, the important thing is that you keep yourself ready and you could see the moves and you could be as fast as you can.
I have a pleasure to bring another question to Yifan, which our viewers had. So the question is, are you planning, or we might see you back in competitive chess?
Well, that is also a question for me. I mean, I have no clear idea at the moment because it will depend on the different circumstances, like the global situation, right? Nowadays, we're still hard to travel freely, and also depends on my personal career plan as well. So I think that is really an uncertain thing, but I would be very happy if one day I could be back. Otherwise, if I could devote to chess as a different role, I would also be, looking forward to that. Anyway, I'll be stay with our big chess family.
That is amazing to hear. Thank you so much to both of you. And Yifan, you are competing next in the quarterfinals. We wish you all the best. And Gulnar, same to you. Good luck for what's to come.
Thank you.
All right, let's take now at this screen. So we know all the players who will compete each other in the next stage, and we're ready. We're ready to see their games.
We do have all the names here. It's gonna be super exciting. We now will have only 8 players competing. Once again, knockout system is very, very stressful, and sometimes it is only one. Yeah, there will be only 4, and in the end, there will be a final match. We shall see that soon. Maybe even this week. The dates will be announced shortly.